Helps if I turn the camera off or on. Unblock it. Hello, everyone. How's it going today? All right, here we are. Another Saturday. Those things are pushed a bit further back. I need a bit more room for this one because we'll be talking about the much delayed, super duper delayed, crap on my computer, big project that I've had in the works for a long time. And it's time I got back to it. And I talked about this in the last live stream where it was something I should get back to. And I started thinking about it heavily again after my New Year's Q&A, where Nick Idigbeer, for 40K, the man, the myth, the legend himself, said, hey, what big projects do you have? I said, not really any right now. We've had March For Macragge, which has gone slowly, but, if you guys didn't see, I did manage to get this Lieutenant and Reaver armor. Wow, I'm off to a great start today. Done up to lead my Reavers, so it was a lot of fun getting him done. Haven't had much chance to work on anything else in the last week since finishing him off last Saturday, but I've been really tempted by this other project I've got going here. We'll get to in a second. But yeah, lots of good stuff on my computer. So good. But lots of cool stuff has gone on this week I want to talk about as well. We had Adepticon that came and went, or is happening right now. I'm not sure. It's all the way in somewhere not close to where I live. And of course, we had some big reveals. We had the Chaos Space Marine reveal, a new edition of Age of Sigmar, which looks cool. I like the fact that they're sort of twisting that, the whole Sigmar lied thing, where Sigmar didn't really reveal the full cost of becoming a Stormcast Eternal, and they're bringing sort of these damned Stormcast Eternals that have had fought so hard and reforged so many times that they're slowly becoming just machines of war. They're whatever soul they had, whatever identity they had is almost gone, and they're going to be going against the Skaven have returned. They are now in Age of Sigmar. And apparently, the Horned Rat has taken his firm place as the 5th Chaos God in Age of Sigmar, which is kind of cool. That was something they were hinting at when the Horned Rat first turned up, in a major way at the end of the original version of Fantasy in the end times. So, but that's cool. I mean, we got to see lots of cool stuff. The Chaos Space Marine release was underwhelming. We had the 2 Chaos Lords, one on foot there with a selection of different weapons and heads. And we had the Chaos Lord, the jump pack, with again a selection of different weapons. It looks like he's got a plasma pistol and a power axe, or an accursed weapon, as they call them now, or switches out for a pair of lightning claws or cursed weapons, because they haven't differentiate anymore. And the one on foot looks like he's got a plasma pistol, and the options of a power fist, a chain axe, a thunder hammer, some sort of a maul of some sort, plasma pistol. So I mean, it looks pretty cool, right? But and the 2 battle forces look pretty interesting as well. You get the Veterans Long War, which is the all on foot, filled with Terminators and Legionnaires and Possessed, and it looks like it's called Veterans Long War. It looks very veteran. You got a couple of units of Terminators. I'm actually just looking at it right now. A unit of Chosen, Legionnaires, and Possessed, the new captain, and then you have the Dread Talons, which looks like to be the new captain. A whole ton of cultists, cursed cultists as well, though all the mutated ones. They're cultist sort of HQ choice, a Demon Prince, and a whole bunch of Warp Talons and such. That's pretty cool. Or Raptors. Looks like Raptors and Warp Talons. Kind of an underwhelming reveal. I was kind of hoping for more. Maybe we'll see more in the future. Obviously, the book isn't out yet. The one that got me interested, though, was the Kill Team, because that looks pretty cool. So, Kill Team Termination. You got yourself these massive containers that are going to be part of the terrain. You got the brood. You've got your brood brothers there with other cool stuff, and of course your Hernkin, which is I guess sort of your I want to say sort of scouting guys. They're not armed the same way. They're not armed in their normal armor, but they do seem to have a whole ton of gear, lots of weapons, bolt weapons, power weapons. Looks like shotguns on a las gun or whatever version of las gun there is. Of course, the Brood Brothers looks cool because they do look like they're more based on the new Cadian sculpts, but yeah, there's lots of indication these guys aren't normal. Lots of the ridged foreheads. The leader's got the cult icon in his right hand is a gene sealer hand, no longer 5 fingers, but it's a 3 with the large claws. Of course, there's a cult icon in there. Lots of crazy stuff to make you realize these guys have long since traded off their humanity for whatever the 4-armed emperor has has whatever gifts is given him. But I think it also it's weird because they're showing off like some of the characters from from the cultists, including a patriarch, which is pretty much like that's pretty crazy to have a patriarch, something that powerful in a game of Kill Team. That's pretty nuts, but it's cool. I like it. I like it a lot. But yeah, so I rambled off. Those are some of the cool reveals. I thought that was pretty interesting to see. There's always something cool there. It's always interesting to see what new stuff is coming, and of course this continuous story. I guess I'm assuming it's creating this continuous story from the last one, which was the Scouts and the Eldari striking Scorpions. So who knows? Hopefully we'll get to see that. Anyways, see me a drink. Let's get to what I wanted to talk about. The big thing was, I can get around here, the big project. Oh, so this is the bottom section of the big project, right? Hello, how's it going? Welcome, just in time. So this is the bottom half of the big project. This is the bottom. So this is actually what we're seeing here is the bottom half of a plant stand that my wife found and said, this would be cool for your warhammering needs. I said, yeah. Because I always wanted to build something of the interior of a hive world. Or not a hive world, but a hive itself. So this is the bottom level, right? These are all 3D. These 3 bits of terrain are all 3D printed. Just painted up rather quickly. I wasn't really dusty, really concerned with how they look because they're going to be mainly played on, of course, some wall plaster there to sort of smooth them in. They've been glued on, smoothed in there to the ground. But it's been there so long it started to crack and dry off way too much, so I might have to reapply some. But this was the big project that I was planning on doing, and it sort of got delayed due to real life stuff. So these, again, it's an older one. These are the level. These will hold up the next level, and they will have these things screwed into them as well on that level. And the next level is a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller. And each level is going to represent something different. There's a lot of room. So there's a good, I think, almost a foot and a bit there between the top and the bottom. So lots of stuff. Now, what I want to do in the back rim here and all the way to the very top is going to get some PVA piping and glue it on, sort of pushed to the front, right? And I'm going to build some sort of wall system up here to definitely clean it up, and then so you can't see all the way through. You'll be putting models in from the front only, and that'll be basically representing an elevator going up, and I'll put a sufficiently good looking door on there to make it look like an elevator, and that's what I get from level to level. But also each level is going to showcase a different part of the hive the higher you go. It's a very top level, right? It's the smallest one. not that big. That's going to be the end of the elevator, obviously, and it's going to be the outside. So it's going to be lots of. I'm going to try and find lots of different sort of communication things I can either print or buy or what have you, and that'll be the outside. Some tubing, whatever. That'll be the very top of the hive, the outside of the hive, places that only like Space Marines could fight on, right? That'd be pretty epic having your characters fighting on the top of the hive. This level here is going to represent basically the underhive, right? Not the very like dead sump bottom part where all the really nasty stuff is, but the underhive where the dregs of everything sort of go. All the failed guilders, all the failed mercenaries, all the failed whatever end up in the underhive. PC vibes cut to size and slid over the legs. He also allow you to change look. That was something else I'm thinking of doing too. I thought maybe putting it around here as well, but I don't know. I kind of like the design of this. It looks weird, like a blank table. That's true. Yeah, I could maybe do that. But so this will be the bottom. So this is the underhive. So you've got broken pieces of terrain here, a bit of defensive positioning, a makeshift over on this side, like a makeshift barricade, basically something to fight in and around. This one is going to have this putty on there and sand, and then dry brushed up. It is going to be the dregs, right? Nothing good happens down here. Nothing like society is basically based like on the gun. That's it, right? This is where people, run to shallow pools of waste to collect whatever, whatever they can out of it. The dregs, right? The next level up, I was going to think of making some sort of Gilder Manufactorum. Hello, Ashley. Welcome. So that'll be like the Manufactorum. That's like the next level up, right? That's where the guilds are, the gangs are, some sort of manufacturing facility. That's where all the waste comes down onto this here, right? Have you ever read the Necromunda books? I'm here with a student. Hey, that's awesome. Thank you for being here. G, what's up? Fucking hungry. Check him out. He does great food reviews. And check out Ashley as well. Their stuff, Gamers Coffee is awesome. Check them out. Let's see, this isn't fully tightened. I'm gonna probably have to break some of this off anyways, but these two. Tighten that up. Anyways, so yeah, the next level. I was saying if you ever see any Necromunda books, whenever there's rain on the lower levels, it's not actually wind, it's rain. It's acid coming down from the lower levels, right? When they have a rain shower, it's the waste. I'm not just talking human waste, probably that too, but any sort of manufacturing waste just rains down on them, right? And then I believe there's 5 levels in total. The next one I was thinking of doing above that would be, I was originally going to be some sort of Arbites, or BDs, sorry. I hate that word so much. It is pretty grimdark. It would be some sort of enforcers or BDs thing. I'm thinking of maybe turning it into a almost lost shrine to Space Marines, right? Again, that's why the Return of the Great is talking about March For Macragge and all that. That maybe some sort of lost Ultramarine shrine would be there, right? Something that needs to be rediscovered on this hive world, maybe set up long ago. Back to Iowa. Yeah, hey, to have a safe trip back, and I hope you guys had fun. I saw some of the pictures there. It looks like you guys had a ton of fun. But then I'd have, that, and then the one above that would be the sort of the high ups, the people who live in the spire above the clouds, above the wasted atmosphere, right? They live above that, and they're the ones that actually see sun. They're the ones that enjoy the best of the best. And so it'd be, I'd try and make it look a little trashed, like a war is going on it, but definitely look like higher quality stuff. I remember reading some Necromunda books where, you have someone from the Underhive who is captured and taken up to the high place, and they're looking at tables made of something called wood. They have no idea what that is, which is really, really, I mean, it's a great way. It speaks volumes of the differences between the bottoms, the haves and the have-nots, right? So that would definitely be That would be like the last level, the high up. And then, of course, as I said, on top of that would be the like the outside. So lots of connections, communications arrays, stuff like that, right? Maybe something hidden up there, right? Hey, yeah, no, you guys do what you got to do to have a safe trip back. But yeah, so this would be the bottom level, right? Lots of space for some battles in there. And of course, with the March For Macragge, right, we have our little, you could have your little guys defending it. I'm going to move this down a bit. Oh, there we go. That's a bit better. See your guys defending positions or evading, right? Hiding in the cover before charging out to battle, right? It's actually something I envisioned when I first got the Reavers, right? As sort of like that would be the infiltrating attack force of Ultramarines trying to get into a hive, right? Before the main event happens, when the rest of the company comes in and starts smashing stuff. These guys would be the perfect ones to sow terror amongst the ranks of the enemy, or even your allies, right? To just get them into play, and right. So yeah, like so a Reaver lieutenant there, Lieutenant Reaver Armor doing his thing. Yeah, so this is where it starts, right? An elevator in there would be really cool. Yeah, it would. Yeah, and it would be back here, right? So it would be pushed forward a bit, so it'd be closer to the back end of this than say pushed back, because I'd want to build some sort of wall here all the way up and sort of following the lines as it goes up. So it would come up and then shrink in as each level goes up. And on a way, I could also decorate the backs of these walls, put in some cool stuff to make it look a bit more dark and foreboding. It is a hive world. They're not exactly known for being bright, sunny places. Yeah. Is this playable or diorama? I would have to say both. I'd love for it to be a diorama that we could put models on it, looking like they're in some sort of clash. Excuse me, multiple enemies coming, right? Excuse me. But I'd also love for it to be playable. I've seen lots of people do vertical walls, instead of playing, front to back and all that, playing this way. I'd love to be able to play up and down, right? That'd be great. You'd have rules for how long it takes if you board an elevator, the next turn you can come out, right? So if you manage to move into an elevator in turn 1, turn 2 you come out here, or you can wait till turn 3 and come out on a higher one. Basically, each one is a turn, right? So if there's something important at the top, you may want to get the elevator now, because it'll be, turn 2, 3, 4, right? You'll be turn 2 here, 2, 3, 4, turn 5, you might make it to it, right? Let's see a deep strike on it, but that has its hazards, right? So lots of cool stuff. Again, it depends. It could be an instant move up, and maybe turn 2, and maybe take an extra turn to go up here. Now, again, something you play with, right? But definitely something I wouldn't mind messing about with, because I think it could be a lot of fun. But yeah, so the next steps will be to probably sand some of this off, because I don't want to be too rough, and maybe put some more on. I may even chip away and actually put some thin PVC piping here over these two and continue that all the way up, because these are all the same length. And I might leave these, I might cover these up, I don't know. They look cool. But yeah, definitely have a bigger one here, just so you could have it looks a bit more sizable. If you get these small ones, it's not going to look like you fit a lot of guys in there. Obviously, scale isn't exactly proportionate as it right as it should be in 40K. So a larger one up here and continue up. I wouldn't wall the bottom off. They would have a jockey back and forth play each turn. That's true. You can see how the game unfolds with that. That could be a good idea. I don't know. Again, it's one of those things that's sort of in the decision-making process. I definitely want to get this done up first. Again, I'm going to have to get some a chunk of PVA glue, white PVA glue, mix it with some water, put it down, get some sand on it, and then paint that in, seal it, dry brush it up, make it look easy, nice, easy peasy lemon squeezy, and then you have something cool, right? And then your troops will be able to march all over it, have some fun, start stopping stuff. Oh, yeah, so that's the first step. And then, of course, building up next one. The manufactorum section would be a bit more. That would take a bit more time because I tried. It's a smaller space, so I have to make it look like it's a processing area without taking up too much room with, gears and fiddly bits or what have you. I could maybe even just turn it into sort of like a Gilder storage area with, cogs and wheels and mechanical stuff that makes it look like it's obviously used for some sort of processing system without actually having big machines all over it. And then, of course, the middle one, I'm thinking that'll probably be, like you said, maybe a shrine to like a lost, maybe chapel or a holding area for Space Marines, right? Because I like the Enforcer Arbites thing, but I'm feeling inspired by the March For Macragge, right? That's what we're doing now, and I want to thank everybody who's done stuff for it. It means a lot to me, Phyllis and I, for you doing it, and it's great. It's great to see people participating. It's been great to see lots of stuff, whether it's people painting orcs, lots of cool stuff there. Just thought I'd mention that while we're talking. But yeah, so I'm actually really excited about this. And if you weren't here at the beginning, I stated I started thinking about this again because it's been sitting in my basement forever. When Nick Idic Beer himself asked if during my New Year's live stream, not live stream, New Year's Q&A. There we go. We got the word right that time. Had to be projects, and I really did. I started thinking, man, I got this thing sitting in my basement. Maybe I should finally get back on it. So here I am, and I was thinking about it over the last week. So, when I'm painting up Space Marines, I was doing other painting challenges, painting up Chaos Marines that I had, and some of the other challenges. So I thought, you know what? Maybe it's time to get back to this. What I should really get this done. It's gonna be pretty big. Like, this is not something I'd be putting on I'm on a dining room table right now, because this thing would be like 3 feet, 4 feet tall when it's all said and done, about 5 feet tall when it's all said and done. So it's definitely something I'd probably put on a smaller table, something solid so it doesn't fall over. It's actually pretty sturdy when it's all together. It's got some heavy duty screws here that didn't come out from the bottom. This one did, so but pretty heavy duty. So it should stand up to a vigorous game played on it. At least I hope so. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so this is the big project that I've been working on. It started, God, I don't even know when I started it now. I think during the whole lovely little COVID pandemic. But I'm hoping to get it finished off this year. Because that would be fun. Thirsty day. So, I know, what do you guys think, right? I'm pretty excited. And I think that's such a good idea. Maybe I won't wall off the bottom. But there's other ones, because this, as it goes up, obviously it's smaller and smaller and smaller, right? This is the largest piece here. And it's a pretty good sized piece, right? The next one is inches smaller and smaller. So I think I will have to put some sort of wall system up there just to get stuff off the actual flat surface and up on here, so I can decorate it, make it look like what it's supposed to be without taking up the room that'll be valuable for moving troops around. I'm thinking I'm going to try and get a large amount, a good size amount of 3D printed not barrels, but containers, little scatter train pieces that can be moved around without taking up a ton of room, because that's going to be needed for the models, right? I don't know. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty excited. I think it's going to be fun to get this started and done. It is a big project. That's why it's called the big project. And I'm kind of glad I'm getting back onto it. I'm just taking this up. Good night. But yeah, so that'll be fun. And like you said, if it's a playable or diorama, I kind of want it to be both. Once I can get up somewhere, secure it, and then I could have Space Marines clashing with with Chaos Space Marines on one level, and Guardsmen fighting with Eldari and another, Dark Eldar and Necrons on another, or mix it all up, right? These big battles. Looking at I think I was also partially inspired by reading stuff with all the I feel like I'm dodging this thing. With the Pariah Nexus, you've got a whole battle area on these planets that are overtaken by Necrons that are having their own civil war, and Chaos is there, and the Imperium, and anybody else who's decided to throw in their lot in the Pariah Nexus. So you have these really crazy multi-sided battles, right? The Imperium's trying to hold on, the Necrons are advancing, but now their advancing is stalling because they're having their own little battle here, right? And of course, Vashdor's charged in, and we know that the Lion and Guilliman are on the way. So there's going to be even more craziness there. So it inspired me, like, what happens on these worlds? What happens? Of course, we have lots of cool terrain. The Games Workshop has put out lots of these cool battles, right? But what happens in a hive? What happens when the battle's going up and down instead of just on a vertical plane, right? So that made me think, this is what I should go for. This is cool. This is cool. Oops. It's pretty dusty, so I can clean it off. I'm going to have to sand this a bit more because there's some sharp bits here that I should probably sand down because I don't want anybody to get hurt playing on this thing. And then I have to dry brush it up. These were really simple. Again, just 3D prints. Painted it real quick, did a little cleanup and sanding on them, and then off you go. Right? A lot of fun. I'm excited to do this. This is going to be good. But of course, I do like your suggestion. I may keep this end open here so we can move them all around with ease instead of trying to reach under. Each level is going to be subsequently easier. I'm also trying to pick up things like one of the crazy things it's hard to get now is plastic straws, and plastic straws were fantastic, especially the articulated ones, like your bendy straws, for making pipes, right? Because you just cut it off where you need it and shove it in a corner, and it made a little pipe. Get a bunch of them. Unfortunately, you can't get those anymore. So I'm going to figure out other ways to do a piping system. I'm definitely going to try and take some of the extra sprue I have lying around, especially on the top level, to make a railing system, maybe even a grid system on walls to make it look sort of futuristic and industrial. So it's great ways to, again, it's a great ways you can take leftovers and garbage and turn it into something useful. That's just me, though. For instance, I have, it's also a great way to raid your bits box. I have a slew of bolters and other such weapons, right? I'm Cycle for Macragge. That's right, yes. We recycle for Macragge. But, I have a slew of bolters and Imperial-style weapons. So in that industrial level ones, I could have just packaged, like, boxes or containers of Imperial weaponry. Like, this is stuff that's getting sent out to the battle lines, right? It's going to whomever. And that gives that whole floor some character. Why are they fighting? Well, someone's trying to steal it or stop shipment, and the Imperials, if they're defenders, are trying to save it, or just it gives character, a ton of character. You know what that room is for automatically. Go, oh, hey, look, there's weapons, there's gears, there's industrial stuff. This is obviously the industrial level of the hive. So at least that's what I'm going for. Again, I have this wonderful ability to have a great idea and then talk myself out of it. I don't know if anybody else has done that, but I do that a lot. It's not fun. Don't do it to yourself. But yeah, so that was the big show and tell for this. I wanted to show this off. Get people's suggestions. I don't know. I've built a lot of foam scenery over my years. I've built some really cool tables, or helped build some really cool tables. I built, obviously, you've seen a lot of the terrain I built for my tables at home here. But this is definitely this is an ambitious one for me, and I really do hope that I can pull it off. So it looks nice, looks presentable, and it gives off the atmosphere that I want to give. Right, it's 40K. It's got that. I hope it looks grimdark. I'm gonna have to also probably 3D print some Space Marine symbols, maybe some Ultramarine symbols to put on that floor. I'd love it to be sort of a lost, maybe a lost or forgotten sort of, not, I don't want to say like almost like a chapter barracks, right? Not like a full on like, you know, fortress monastery type thing, but something akin to like, you know, a place for the Ultramarines or Space Marines. I don't know. I might just go generic. Who knows? But a place where Ultramarines could regroup, a place where they found out we like this planet. Maybe this is where we grab some of our recruits from, or just a place we know we can stop if necessary after a crusade or after a massive battle. Someone to regroup if things go badly, and it's one that just has been used a long time. That's the history books of, you know, the fluff of the a lot of codexes mentions that, you know, a chapter discovering one of its old holds somewhere, completely forgotten about. It's been lost for thousands of years, and they go, oh hey, look, this is one of ours, and they bring it back to life and regroup it, and they make it one of theirs again. So I don't know, maybe that's cool. I was sort of flaunting around the enforcer thing, but after reading some more stuff, there's really dedicating a whole level to it just seems a bit much for things like enforcers. They usually have their own little holds, but they're nothing major. Right? Again, RBDs would have something more, but and there's a difference between RBDs and enforcers. So I have to drink a lot. My mouth is a little dry, a little sore. I actually had dental work done yesterday. So I had a bunch of fillings put in, and they froze everything. I sound like I sounded drunk. I was like slurring like this. So I couldn't talk out of my part of my mouth well enough because I was frozen. You could like smack me. I couldn't feel anything. But it's much better today. I'm actually feeling much better now. Thank you, though. It was it wasn't a long procedure, right? There wasn't much to it, but you know, between the drilling, and which is a horrible sound, I can't stand it, and the getting the freezing stuff in there, it's, you know, it wasn't major dental work. I had my wisdom teeth removed last year, and that sucked, right? Because they froze everything, so I couldn't feel any pain, but you could feel the yanking. You know, as they're going back and forth in there trying to get your teeth out, and that sucked. This was nowhere near as bad. They could have done better on the suction thing, because there was a couple times where I started gagging on the water and saliva and stuff, which is delicious. It was wonderful. But no, I'm just tired today, and my mouth is still a little off, not where it should be. But yeah, it's fun. I had all 4 of my wisdom teeth removed in the same go. Like, are you sure you want to do this? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I want them out. If they're not good. If, you know, there was one of them, you know, they had cavities in them. I had my teeth are really impacted, like really close together, so it's really hard to clean. But yeah, all 4 in one go. Cleaning my mouth every day, waiting for the stitches to dissolve, and it wasn't fun. But that's not right here. You don't want to hear about my mouth. My mouth is disgusting like anybody else's, right? But yeah, no. So this is the big project. Now I'm hoping to show off. I'm gonna try and show off some pics of it later tonight. Yeah, see, these things are all loose now. They've been sitting downstairs. That's the other thing. I gotta make sure these get really tightened up. I don't want anything to fall apart on me. Hello. But yeah, so this is the big deal. I do like your suggestion. I do like your suggestion of not filling this in, but I'm going to do it on the other ones. The PVC piping will probably go around these 2. I'll probably get 2 different sizes. These I'm not too sure about, because these are on every level. These 2 will have 2 over them on the next level, and so on forth, all the way up to the top. So I'll have to get caps for the ends, but yeah, it should be fun. Nurgle proves this message. Yes, Nurgle does improve. Nurgle's evil. I don't like Nurgle. Nurgle's a not nice guy. That was the other thing I wanted to do with some of the levels is to try and tell a story, one of the things I love doing with tables, and this is going to be a little bit of a rant on tables and terrain and all that. One of the things I always like to do when I was setting up a table, whether it was for myself, friends, or when I was working Games Workshop, we'd set up tables for people. Some new people are coming in, they go, "Hey man, could you set up a nice table?" Yeah, and I'd always like my tables to tell a story, whether it's, I don't care if it's 40K or fantasy. I'd set up a little farm. You'd set up just a little bit of terrain in one section, just a tiny bit. There wasn't much. There wasn't much to it because obviously fantasy, you don't use a ton of terrain. We try and set up a story that the table is telling. 40K was a bit easier because you have a lot more terrain. But I'd like to tell. You'd build it. You'd build sort of a matching, symmetrical. You'd build it on an angle, and you'd have like a big open area, and then you'd have another area over here, another area over here. That way you kind of set things up, and it would sort of give you something, right? I like to put down. When I've done some, I didn't do in the last battle report because that I did there because no, it's not a broken chair. Mini Wormit, hello, I just saw you there. Yeah, no, we'll explain in a moment, but I have a bunch of casualties, but spaceman casualties, or I have these little metal dead Vostroyan guardsmen. I just like to throw them down because then it gives you the appearance of something's actually happened. You're not just marching on an empty battlefield and here's two armies go. Either gives you an indication something's gone on. This is something part of something larger that I love, and that's what I want to do with this. That's why I like this first level. I've got this definite piece of it looks like some sort of imperial defense line, right? So and it's going to go, and I placed it here. It's going to go right in front of where the words escape me now. The elevator, right? So obviously this is designed to defend entrance, but you've got a broken building here, a makeshift barricade here, and telling a story that this place has been fought over before. Buildings have been built, lives were lived there, things fell apart, things were taken back, events happened here, right? And I heard table flip, W chair in the back. But you know what? Let's not talk about bad dice rolls, okay? I purposely do not use plasma at all. Very rarely. I think I've got one plasma guy in my Space Marine Army, my tactical squads. I don't use plasma because whenever I use plasma in a game, always the guy would die. First round, guaranteed. Plasma cannon, plasma gun, doesn't matter. All right. I had like a streak of plasma dice. It's no more plasma. No. So what's going on here, Mini Wormit? That's what I call the Return of the Big Project. This is a part of a plant stand my wife found for me. It's probably about 5 feet tall, and I've decided to turn it into a multi-level table for fighting games of Warhammer 40,000 or Kill Team, what have you, or Combat Patrol, whatever, in Hive. So each level is going to represent a section of that hive. So this is the bottom level here. This is going to be the underhive. That's why I have these broken stuff here. There's the wall putty here to sort of smooth things in. I got to sand it, probably apply more. Didn't even scratch some off here. But once this is done, this is going to be the underhive. So it's just going to be done up with just PVA glue just some sand, decorative sand, I don't know. And it's going to get all done up. And that's the bottom level. Each level is going to represent a different part of the hive. The very top level, which is the smallest one, is going to be outside. It's going to be the very top, the tippy top of the hive. It's going to have lots of communication arrays, lots of pipes, whatever. And then the one above this is going to be probably some sort of industrial storage or manufacturing or gilder area. Lots of containers, pipes, right, to make it look industrial. The one above that will be something like originally I was going for something like an enforcer command center or an Adeptus Arbites command center. But now I'm thinking maybe a lost and forgotten Adeptus Astartes hold, someplace they could regroup, or and then of course one of that in between that and the outer one would be sort of the upper hive, where all the rich people live, the people who can afford to enjoy the luxuries of life while the rest of everyone else below suffers in horrible silence and all that stuff. Sorry, also telling everybody about my wonderful dental work yesterday, getting fillings, and it was so much fun. So my mouth is still very dry from that. But yeah, so, and I had already some awesome ideas. I was going to build like a wall going up, but great suggestion there. I'm actually going to leave this one open now. It's a good idea. There's going to be some PVC piping going here, a bigger one on the back here to represent an elevator going all the way to the top, and maybe some skinnier ones around all these posts. And these posts are number one. I've got these little knobs here that may get it as well. I may not. I may just paint them up to make them look like the rest of the terrain, make them look like they're part of it. But yeah, this is the big project. It's one of those ones that have been floating around for a while, and I think it's time to get back onto it. And I think it'd be really cool to do some sort of solo battle report on this, with all the different levels. Of course, I'll have to come up with some sort of game plan for how movement up and down the elevators would work. Obviously, there'd be no interaction between levels. You couldn't leave a level. You'd have to imagine a sort of imaginary wall, right? But yeah, of course. And I got my little Lieutenant Reaver armor there. You could have a unit of guardsmen trying to defend the entrance from oncoming whatever, right? Maybe some horror from the Underhive, or who knows, whatever. Right? And we got all those cool tables, and I'd love to take something like boarding action and put it on something like this, where instead of boarding a ship, you're fighting your way through parts of the hive. I don't know. Seems pretty interesting to me. We'll see how it goes once everything's done. Obviously, space is going to be sort of at a premium, so I'm gonna have to figure out ways of like I said, being able to tell a story for each level, right? Yeah, you could just homebrew the take turn phase, but true enough. Again, that's something I'd have to figure out. When you do something like this, it does mess with the game a lot, because instead of going straight across or up and down a little bit, you're going right up, right, to different levels. So, it'll take some time to work out, but I think it should be fun. I'd like to do a big battle report, or even some smaller ones, like I did with the solo battle report I did there with Voldemort. I still can't believe he offered to do that. It's freaking amazing. Just awesome. Still in shock at that. It's been a month now. I still see when it's still the numbers on it, the views are still going up. I go, wow. So, but I'd love to have a cool battle report. Maybe, the Necrons invading, or even something different like Necrons and Eldari fighting over the broken remains of a hive, for some long buried secret somewhere in the Underhive, or fighting over relic collected by one of the higher ups, having absolutely no idea what it actually meant, other than it was a shiny bauble that they wanted, right? That's always something cool. I've read enough. Fluffy stories in various books of that. You have a High Lord, or not a High Lord. Those guys aren't terrible. You have some sort of planetary governor who lives at the very top of the biggest hive on the planet, who just collects whatever he wants because he's super stupid rich and corrupt as heck, and he finds a shiny bauble. Turns out that it's an activation card or an activation rune or key for some sort of horrible weapon. And the Eldari go, well, if we leave it there, we've traced the runes of fate and realized we leave it there, that in a decade he's going to find a way to mess around with it and awaken some Necron tomb on his planet he doesn't even know about. Of course, then but they get there, something happens, the Necrons awaken everywhere anyway. The humans all get wiped out. Now it's just the Eldari and Necrons trying to fight over. They're trying to shut down the Necrons. Necrons, of course, want to wake up and reclaim the galaxy. So, I don't know. It's lots of cool little ideas like that. That's why I love the fluff so much. But what do you guys think? What would you suggest? Obviously, I've had some great suggestions already, but what would you guys suggest? Right? Cut a hole in the floor and put a drop pod in his terrain and a floor. Like, wow, that would be cool. Yeah. Um, I don't know if I can do that. These things are pretty thick. They're pretty dense. So I don't know if I could actually do that. Um, I would say a pretty cool idea. It might be a bit beyond this. If I was able to build a whole floor, that might be different. But these are probably, ooh, I don't know, say almost an inch thick. They're almost an inch thick, probably about 3/4 of an inch thick. So there's a lot to go through there. And trying to get a drop pod coming through and coming like this. I don't know, maybe that could be a good idea. Just a good idea. Maybe if we did it on the, it would whole saw would probably do it. Um, I'll take that one in advisement. I might maybe do that one of the higher levels. Maybe or maybe just have one crashed into a level, right, and then mess up the ground as it's slammed in. That could be good too. Now I definitely do want to put walls in the higher levels, just because the higher you go up, the more better chance of a model tumbling to its doom, and I've seen that too many times. I probably have PTSD of some sort because of that. I once watched a. I once watched. If I could speak English, would be great. A Hellhound Titan smash to the floor off the table. Um, that was horrible, horrifying. It was just it pieces everywhere, and silence afterwards because we're all like, and cut it off the exact angle looks believable. Yeah, that'd be good. I like that. I have to get another drop pod, or maybe see this is where 3D printing comes in wonderful, because then it's much. I'd rather cut through like a 3D printed thing than something I bought. I would not want to buy a drop pod than to slash it to pieces. So I'm pretty sure I can find drop pods though. 3D print one on. That could be cool. That could be cool. Yeah, I definitely don't want to do. Don't I know some people have done that. They've bought kits and it hurts my brain to think about it. But yeah, what do you guys think? Right? I think I'm pretty happy with that. It looks like a lot of fun. Of course, I like the fact these are pretty sturdy there. So when this goes in, there's nubbins like this will go on top. But yeah, I think it could be cool. So now I just have to go get some PVA glue and some decorative sand of some sort. I don't want to get typical sand. I want something a bit coarser with some chunks in it as well, especially on this level here, because like I said, the underhive, it's dirty, it's unkempt. So it's like there's no civilization down here, right? This is the place where you don't want to be ever. This is where the scum of the scum live, the mutants and the scabies and all the other stuff. That's what lives in here, right? All the really bad stuff. So definitely don't want them. They definitely don't have roads, nothing like that. The next one up will be better and better until you get to the second to last one where the higher ups live. Again, the idea there is maybe even get some very basic stuff. Maybe even a few, if I can find some sort of civilian casualties, you can put them up there. As this hive is just under attack. Ask Lawrence a dirty basement train for some ideas. The guy is a mad scientist of this. I will do that. Dirty basement. I'm going to move this for a second here. Now that's awesome. Is that like a YouTube channel, or is that his like? I'm just gonna mess about here. Wow, if I can spell this right. If I could spell this, would be great. All right, I'm gonna look that up right now. Oh, look at that. Dirty basement terrain. Oh, wow. That's amazing stuff. Monster layer entrances. Wow, guys got yeah, these guys got some skill there. We're not lying. That's some awesome stuff. Tacky glue, Dollar Tree house conversions. Oh wow. Okay. Well, thank you. Especially in Dungeons and Dragons stuff, returns thrift and trash and stuff. Yeah, I can see that. That's awesome. Thank you. I'm going to. I'm definitely gonna get that. I'm sure he could rock some 40K stuff. That's fantastic. That is awesome. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, I'm just looking at it now. Yeah, he's got. Oh, hey, look at that. He's got the old fortress there too. That's cool. I remember trying to sell those, but yeah, getting most of the column jigs, modular ruins for D&D Warhammer, fire roasted grub, maggot scat. That is cool. Yeah, a lot of fancy stuff, but that's some pretty cool stuff. Tentacle water tiles. That's cool. Well, thank you very much for that. That's awesome. That's great. Well, we are coming to the end of the month too, and definitely one of the things I wanted to talk about before the end of that. Obviously, we're looking at next. We got about another week before the March for Macragge wraps up for another year. But I want to thank everybody who's hopped on, who's decided to hop on and paint something. I love seeing all the work you guys have done so far. Mine's been a little bit limited this year. March has been a crazy month. I'm glad I got this lieutenant done. As I said before, I love this model. It's very dynamic. I love that he's in the midst of attacking as he should be. You know, he's leading reavers that are definitely a close combat unit. I wish they'd pump them up and do something more with them. I may take a little bit of time and pick out some more details on him. There's the cool control screen on his left arm that I should probably paint up green and sort of make it seem a little more active. Maybe add some more reds and other colors in there. Um, Hopefully, we'll get some other stuff done up before the end, and we'll definitely talk about that and hopefully showcase everything that's gone on because it's been a lot of fun and it's great to see you guys doing that. I've had some other people reach out on Facebook showing me the stuff they've done. We had a bunch of people doing orcs in blue and all that, which is great, which is a lot of fun. If we can get people to just enjoy the hobby, that always makes me happy in the end because that's what it's all about. But I am going to end it there for tonight, guys. It was going to be a short one, anyways. I just wanted to showcase what was happening. But I am tired, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Hopefully, I'll get some more stuff out this week. And we'll see you guys later. So keep rolling those dice, and I will see you next one, guys. Bye.